Hi everyone, how you doing? My name's Gers. Today we are going to look at electric toothbrushes and also a little bit on manual toothbrushes. There's different types of electric toothbrushes and I'm going to recommend one which I'm currently using myself, okay? If you can't watch the whole of this video or you don't want to, then the one I'm going to recommend is this, okay? It's a brand that I've never heard of. It came up on my Instagram. It's called Suri, and there's a whole bunch of things that I like about this, including the price point. So I'm not sponsored by these guys. They don't know I'm making this video. I paid for the brush myself. Although being a dentist, I did get a discount on it. And if you use the link below this video, then you will get a discount on it. And I think I get something. I haven't used this link yet. Okay, I might get £10 in a voucher or something like that. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's look at electric toothbrushes. Number one, are they better? Number two, the two different types of electric toothbrushes, the Sonic and the Rotary. What's the difference and what I think you should get these days? So being a dentist, I do have an unfair advantage. I get given free stuff occasionally to try out in the hope that I will recommend it to my patients, or these days on social media. And I've never actually done this. I did make a video on an electric toothbrush that I was given. Okay, it was by Oral-B. It was their rotary head and it was their flagship one. Okay, pretty much the best one you can buy. I got it for free and I made a video and I was kind of impressed, although there's a whole bunch of things which I thought were completely unnecessary. I mean, who needs an app on a toothbrush? Okay, but the Oral-B one has one. But weirdly, I've spoken to hygienists and other dentists and some people really like it. It's a bit gimmicky, but it won't actually help you improve the health of your mouth. And that's what electric toothbrushes or any toothbrushes are supposed to be doing. So about a year ago, I had to stay over in a hotel. I obviously took my electric toothbrush and everything, but I forgot it there. And the customer service of this hotel was so terrible that the number of times I called up, nobody could locate this brush and I effectively lost it, okay? I then switched back to my manual toothbrush because it was just quick, easy and convenient. I know how to do a good clean and my teeth are nice and straight, so it's actually easy for me to do a really effective clean. And then a couple of months later, I forgot my manual toothbrush at my parents' house, and they live like 3 hours away from me. And then I actually stole my daughter's toothbrush. Okay, so she's got a Sonic brush.
Daddy, why have you used my toothbrush again?
So I started looking into electric toothbrushes, looking to ideally replace the one that I'd lost in the hotel. And to my surprise, these things are crazy expensive. We're talking nearly £500 for effectively the same thing as I lost and I was given for free. And I don't feel comfortable spending that much money on something which I think should be just a lot cheaper. The actual cleaning mechanism on the Oral-B basic brushes all the way to their top end is pretty much the same. And I know they do a Sonic range as well. I've never tried the Oral-B Sonic ones, but the toothbrush that I stole from my daughter was a Philips Sonicare. Okay, so the Philips Sonicare was the first Sonic toothbrush, and the way that these brushes differ is that the Oral-B rotary head ones, literally as the name suggests, the head kind of just rotates in an oscillating fashion, and this mimics what you're supposed to be doing with a manual toothbrush. So you probably heard this like a million times, where you're supposed to put, with a manual toothbrush, use small round motions, okay, and that sweeps the gum line. And this is what I tell all my patients who are using a manual toothbrush, and it's the most effective way of using a manual toothbrush. So Oral-B designed this brush which has a rotary motion which mimics this round motion, sweeps the gum line, and it does a pretty good job. It might do too good a job, and I'll explain what I mean by this in a little bit. But the Sonic technology is different. If you look at the Sonic brush, as soon as you turn it on, it makes a cool noise, and hopefully you can hear that here. Okay, and we've got different power settings. Okay, but what you notice is the brush head is not physically, well, it is physically moving, but it's kind of vibrating. And what Sonicare used to say, especially in the early days, is that this causes cavitation in the water, which is basically it creates air bubbles, and this cavitation will clean in between the teeth more effectively than an electric rotary toothbrush. I don't know how true this is. I don't really believe it. But one thing I did notice using the Sonicare was my teeth felt really, really clean. Now, I've done tests with electric toothbrushes where I've put a dye in my mouth and cleaned them, so I know I'm cleaning well, but the feeling from the Sonicare was a bit better. So then I thought, okay, look, next brush, let's get a Sonic one. And this one popped up in my Instagram feed, and I thought, okay, look, how expensive is it? I went to the website and I was surprised at how cost effective it actually is. Now, I can't remember exactly. I think I probably spent about 100, maybe 150 pounds on it, something like that. I got a bit of a discount because I am a dentist, and they sent it to me really, really quick. Now, the thing which differentiated this for me was the materials it's made from and the sustainability aspect of it, okay? Because the heads are, if I can get them off, the heads are completely recyclable. And the body itself is made of like an aluminium. And I know you might be thinking I lose my toothbrushes all the time, which I kind of do, but I have had brushes long enough for them to die on me. And with the Oral-B ones especially, it's very difficult to change batteries or do anything. But with this one, what they say is that you can send it to them, they can take it apart, fix it, and send it back, okay? And I kind of like that. I hate how disposable everything is these days. And I love the idea that, you know, these things can be maintained for the long term. They offer a brush head subscription service, which I signed up to. I don't really like subscription services, and you have to get like two brush heads at a time, which is a bit annoying, but I'm going to see if I can change that. Maybe I can. But from a cleaning perspective, right, how good is this brush? Initially, I'll be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. I felt it wasn't as good as my Philips Sonicare. But then I realized it's got two different brushing modes. Okay, so you heard this a second ago, and when you turn it on, that high pitch one, I believe is the low setting. And then if we change to the, don't even know how to use this. Okay, the deeper one, that is a much more kind of aggressive setting. And on a sonic brush, the aggressive setting isn't too aggressive. Okay, what the problem I had with the rotary head toothbrush was that I was always using it in sensitive mode, because if I used it in the regular mode, and I'm brushing twice a day, then I would find my teeth are really sensitive. The only explanation I can have for this is that it was too aggressive on my gums, and it was causing my gums to kind of shrink back a little bit, exposing the sensitive part of my tooth, and that was too much for the type of gum that I have. Okay, and this is important to realize that we've got different thicknesses in the gums. Some of us watching will have thick gums which are able to deal with a lot more abuse, and some of us will have thin gums which are a little bit more delicate and will get gum recession easily on there as well. And overbrushing will definitely cause gum recession. This is another reason that I've switched to a sonic brush, and you don't have to get this one, just any sonic brush. They all work in a pretty similar way. Because the vibrations are so kind of small, right? It's not damaging my gums, even on the most aggressive mode. Now, the way you use this brush is different to how you use a manual brush. Okay, so you can forget about the whole small circular motion. With this, you literally put it on the tooth and the gum line. You still point it into the gum line a little bit. So if you're doing your bottom teeth, you point it down. If you're doing your top teeth, you point it up. And you basically just massage the gums all the way around, okay, and that is enough. So studies have shown that the physical brushing motion is what is needed to actually disrupt plaque and break down something called a biofilm, which is what we're trying to do when we brush our teeth. The rotary heads do a fantastic job. They physically disrupt it, but this, if you put it on the tooth and it moves around, it will physically disrupt it. The whole cavitation argument, I'm not sure I believe it, but it doesn't really matter, because the cavitation they only say it cleans in between the teeth with cavitation. But if you're flossing, if you're using TP brushes, I think that's a far more effective way to clean in between teeth. By the way, not everybody needs to be using TP brushes. I did do another video on how to use manual brushes and manual techniques, right? And I'll link to that somewhere, maybe at the end of this video, and you can have a look at that. Now, what about brushing around implants? So regular viewers will know that, you know, most of this channel is about implants. It's about 90% of what I do is implant treatments, and implants are effectively delicate teeth. Okay, the gum around implants is more delicate, and we've had patients who have had full set of implants, and after a year the gum starts, or the implant starts to show, because the gums are shrinking back, because our patients are so conscious about the cleaning. Okay, they've invested a lot of time, money, effort in trying to get a good set of teeth, that they kind of overdo the brushing. And this causes a little bit of recession. Now, whether this is a problem depends on the individual case. Usually it's not, and it's more of a cosmetic issue than there's a problem with our implant issue. But I think using gentler brushes, using sonic technology in the brushes, is going to be better for implant health. Okay, so these days I do recommend this to my patients. I recommend using a sonic brush rather than a rotary head one. And I do recommend using an electric over a manual generally. Okay, and the reason is, stuff like this, when we do an all-on-4 bridge, quite often our patients have been dealing with a build-up of plaque and tartar for all their life, and they still get this on the all-on-4 bridges. Okay, less so on the zirconia, but the zirconia bridges are the most expensive ones that you can get, so not everybody goes for those. Now, we're able to clean this off in the surgery, okay, and we do this when we see our patients regularly. But if you're able to maintain it better at home, and I think with a sonic brush it is easier, because that area where this all builds up is on the inside of the lower teeth. It's very difficult to access, but having a brush which you don't need to move around and isn't too aggressive to go back there, I think is an advantage. Okay, it's not going to cure every problem, but I think it makes cleaning easier. So in summary, I think if you're in the market for an electric toothbrush, I think this is a decent shout. It's at a good price, it's environmentally friendly, all of that stuff. You do get a lot. I went and got the one with all the carry case and all of that. Okay, and I've got the carry case here. It's all very smart, it's all pretty well made. It's got this thing where apparently it cleans the brush. How do we turn this on?
A few moments later.
Okay, I've had to plug this in, and my charging cable isn't that long. Okay, but what you can see is inside, if we open that up, okay, we've got this kind of UV light which you're not supposed to look at. Apparently it cleans the brush head. Again, I think it's a bit gimmicky. I don't think it's absolutely needed, but I think, okay, one design flaw which I've literally just learnt now is you charge the case, okay, and like earpods and stuff like that, it charges the electric toothbrush. So if you're away for a little while, at least you've got charge in the carry case, which is a cool idea. But I think if you turn this thing on, which it doesn't want to turn on because I think it's dead, it drains the battery, because I've not used this, but you know what, that's a tiny little thing. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope this has kind of helped you in your buying decision. Okay, like I said, any sonic brush is going to be good. There is no substitute to seeing a hygienist or a therapist, okay? If you're serious about getting your oral health to a good standard, it's more difficult brushing if your teeth are not perfectly straight. If you've got crowns, bridges, implants, your brushing regime will change a little bit, and sometimes it's good to just get that insight from a therapist, okay? If you've got perfectly straight teeth, if your gums are kind of healthy, maintenance should be nice and easy. You might only need to see someone once a year. Get yourself a decent sonic brush, and I think you should be able to avoid dental treatment for a very long time. Okay, and that's the goal. The less treatment we can do, the better everyone's oral health is, and that is a win-win, apart from the dentists who won't earn very much doing checkups. Okay, but that's a story for another day. I'll see you soon. Take care.